As a fan of Real Housewives of Atlanta, this fallout between former best friends Porsha Williams and Shamea Morton has me scratching my head, or at least it did have me scratching my head and just like really wondering what the heck happened. We know that they had the argument about the mothers, but it's this whole lack of accountability and delusion that these girls share that really is the fallout or really is the reason why they could never really mend this friendship and why personally I don't believe that they're ever friends. So then you ask yourself, like, what causes such delusion, right? What causes such delusion and which causes such lack of accountability? And I can only come to one conclusion: blame the mamas. Yeah, blame the mamas. Miss Diane and Miss Mama Morton have literally have not held their daughters accountable for their actions, for their behaviors. And I would argue that they even embolden the bad behaviors. They embolden the lack of accountability by the way that they reassure their individual daughters. We're going to get into that this last week's episode and why I say those things about their mothers right after my intro plays. You guys, give me about 15 seconds or so for this intro to play, and I will see you guys on the other side. Everyone knows the best conversations happen in hair salons. And guess what, beauty? It's your appointment time. So grab your drink, grab your wine, grab your friends, and let's talk. My name is Tanya. I'm your host, and this is Sweet Tea. Welcome or welcome back to the suite, you guys. Go ahead and like the video on your way in. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel too if you're not subscribed, because I guarantee you will want to come back to the suite. So do not miss your appointment time, or AKA the notifications. So go ahead and hit that bell as well, that you guys are made aware when I upload these videos. Okay. So it's taken me a while to get this video together because I really had to think about it. Okay, so how do these former besties, supposedly besties, which I did a video on that too, where I argued that they were never really best friends, but how did this whole fallout happen, and why is it that they cannot seem to get past whatever issues they have? Okay, so this last episode started off with um picked up after the explosive dinner where Shamea revealed that her mother said Miss Diane tried to go with her daddy back in the day, and Porsha fired back with, "No, your mom slept with with her brother-in-law." Yeah, all that drama. Yeah, I remember that show. So after that happened, Shamea and Kelli went back to the house, and Shamea and Kelli were having a conversation, and Kelli was telling Shamea, like, well, you held so much inside. And it had me side eyeing Shamea just from that statement.
You have kept so many things bottled up between you and her. I just shut down. It's easier to just walk away for me.
What has she kept bottled up inside? And how does Kelli know that it's so many things if Shamea hasn't been sharing those things about Porsha with Kelli? And then we go back to Shamea denying all last season that there was anything that she was saying bad about Porsha or their relationship or their friendship that she hadn't said to her face. So for Kelli to say, who is her new BFF, that she has so much bottled up inside, like, what are you talking about, Kelli? And how do you know that, right? Unless Shamea has been telling her. So again, that just goes to further the point that Shamea is not this loyal friend that she has claimed to be to Porsha for all of these years. And that's not saying that Porsha has been the best friend to Shamea either, but Shamea has no problems playing victim and pointing out to everyone else the things that Porsha has done to her, but she has yet to say those things to Porsha. And you have to ask yourself why.
Which is why it's so hard to like confront something like that. I love taking care of one point because it's like I just I'm always careful for other people's feelings, even if it hurts mine.
She's always so careful of other people's feelings, even if it hurts hers. She wasn't that way with Drew last season, though, nor was she that way with Angela, right? So it's like Shamea wants us to believe that she is such this great person and such a compassionate person, and she empathizes with other people and she cares about their feelings to the point where she's willing to hurt her own feelings or sacrifice her own happiness. And that's just not what we have seen in all of her relationships. That may have been the dynamic between her and Porsha, but then Shamea has to ask herself, why did she allow this one person to have that kind of effect over her? What was it about Porsha that Shamea was willing to play that role in her life, but not necessarily to watch the feelings of everybody else in her life? Because she really went after Drew and she went after Angela, and she was very unapologetic about it. And you have to ask yourself, why now are you crying? And why now are you saying or trying to rewrite history as if we didn't all see what we saw on our television screens last season? Right? And so Shamea knows that after that fight she had with Porsha, after those things that were said about Miss Diane, about Mama Morton, that there is literally no coming back. So all those years of sacrificing and of putting yourself second to this person, of not shining your light and expressing and your feelings and showing us your talents to the world because this person supposedly told you that they would rather you not be on this show and have this platform, and you sat there for 10 years and you allowed this in a friendship, and then it blows up because you've been quote unquote holding so much inside, and then now there's just no coming back.
Me and Porsha were sisters, right? And sisters fight. My hope was that we would always find our place back to each other. But after tonight, I know that that's not going to happen. She will never meet another friend like me.
She will never meet another friend like her. But is it really a friend? Does a friend not tell you the truth about yourself? Does a friend not tell you when you're wrong? Does a friend let you get away with everything and treating them bad and making them feel bad and dimming their light and all those things for the sake of friendship? Is that a real friend? Because if that's a real friend, then I wouldn't want a friend like that. Because friends like that allow your bad behavior. Friends like that allow you to think that it's okay to do the things that you do because they're afraid to tell you that you're wrong. That's not a real friend. That is why Shamea ended up with the lapdog title and with playing that role in Porsha's life, because she allowed herself to play that role in Porsha's life. You think Porsha had an application out for a lapdog or for a friend who wouldn't hold her accountable? Or is Porsha just used to that because that's the way it's been happening in her family for years? So when we talk about blame the mamas, has Miss Diane ever held Porsha accountable for Porsha's bad behavior on our television screens? Maybe she does it behind closed doors. Who knows? We haven't seen it. We haven't seen Miss Diane ever check Porsha in the shit that Porsha does or says, or the way that she behaves. And that's why I say blame the mamas, okay? Blame the mamas. So while Shamea and Kelli are back at the house or the hotel or wherever they were at, rehashing Shamea's feelings and everything, the other girls were at the club like bonding, and you got K.Michelle on the microphone introducing her new friend Phaedra as if they were besties.
We are here to celebrate somebody that is very special, an amazing person, an amazing friend, Phaedra Parks. Come on.
Honey, K.Michelle said, these white people love Phaedra, so let me get on this too. Okay, let me get on this so I can go ahead and expand my audience to people who typically like country music. So all of a sudden, K.Michelle is introducing Phaedra. Did you hear what she said? She's an amazing friend and an amazing person. Okay, K.Michelle, great intro, but I didn't know that you and Phaedra were cool like that. I had no idea. Knew that they kind of were growing a little something, a little understanding, and maybe a mutual respect for each other. But I didn't know that she was an amazing person and an amazing friend. But anyway, so after K.Michelle introduced Phaedra to the crowd and announced that it was her birthday, she actually sang the song for her. And I was like, go ahead, K.Michelle. It was nice. It was very, very nice. And a surprise to Phaedra, too, because Phaedra said that K.Michelle has made it known that she does not sing for free. And then she went on to introduce Drew Sidora, and Drew looked like she was so surprised. Okay. And so Drew sang her song. She sang her song Delusional, and it was really, really cute. The crowd was all pumped up. And then walked Shamea and Kelli. And baby, Shamea came in that club with that thigh out. That kilt had that split in it up to the rotatuta, as my mother would say, the split to the rotatuta. And that thigh was out, honey. It was shining, and she was walking, and she was like rolling her way through the door, rolling her way in. I'm like, okay, one thing about Shamea, baby, she's gonna bring the party. She does get paid to host, you know what I'm saying? And so her and Kelli walk in, and they are just like ready to party. And just so happened that they were singing Drew's song Delusional when they walked through the door. And I don't know if that was editing or if it was shade from the producers or the editors or what, or if it was just a coincidence, but it was a pretty funny coincidence.
What is happening?
Baby, they walked in and everybody was looking like, what are they doing here? Why are they here? But I don't really understand why they didn't think that they would show up, because like Kelli let Shamea know, baby, I did not come to Scotland and sit up in this room, get this kilt on, and we're going to the club, okay? And they said the club was lit. It was full of our people. And they were over there jamming. Phaedra looked so cute. She was dancing. She had her little gray bodysuit thing on, silver. She had her little blonde wig on, and she looked like the birthday girl. And they were jamming. And then K.Michelle actually introduced Shamea. So Shamea got on the microphone and she sang her song too. And everybody was there and they were jamming. But when Porsha saw her, Porsha was like, oh no, because y'all don't want P. Willie to come back out. And if P. Willie comes out, it's going to be a problem. I done been drinking and all of this. Let me get the hell up out of here.
Me and the growth that I have had, okay, and how the God in me has risen, I need to get the out of here.
Baby, and Shamea was like, she was having her moment. She was having her moment. And I know that deep down it did have to hurt a little bit to see Porsha get up and walk out. But then she also tried to say that like Angela and Cynthia then walked out too, and then that was later on debunked. But it was like more of Shamea playing the victim, right? And it's like, again, why does she feel like that's okay? And I go back to blame her mother, because her mother emboldens that victimhood behavior. And I'm going to show you guys some clips later on in this video to prove my point. I wouldn't just say that. And I know people say the mamas are off limits, but honey, let's be real. Mama Morton has appeared in almost every episode this season. She's not quiet. She's not just a listener. She expresses her opinions, inserts her opinions, asserts her thoughts onto these girls, and she even threatened to spank them at one point. So at this point, we can talk about Mama Morton, okay? And because Miss Diane has entered the chat too, we can talk about her because she spent years on our screens not saying too much. But the problem is that the silence is the problem. She has not said enough in regards to her daughter and her daughter's behavior on our television screens, in my opinion. Okay. So we see Porsha walk out when Shamea starts singing, but of course, the other girls kind of are like, what's going on? Because after that, K.Michelle actually introduced Porsha to come up and sing too. So Porsha walked out. So the question is though, too, and I thought about this, like, y'all think Porsha was walking out because she didn't want to be with Shamea, or do you think Porsha didn't come back and grab that mic because she didn't want to sing Flatline? Flatline, flatline. That's a little shade. But for real though, y'all let me know in the chat. Like, do you guys think that Porsha wanted to go up there and sing Flatline? Do you think she really didn't want to be around Shamea? Either way it goes, Drew and Angela were like standing outside the car and they're talking about it, and they were like, this was intentional for her to come, and like they felt like she just really like put a damper on the whole mood. And It did, but I don't think that was her intentions. I think Shamea's intentions were like, I'm about to go out too. I'm not going to let you guys keep me in this room. And that was the right thing to do, in my opinion. And don't go in there with your head down, looking all meek and quiet and mousy and shit. Like you did something wrong. I mean, you were wrong for which saying that about Miss Diane at that table. I don't give a care if you team Shamea, team Porsha, if you like their dirty draws, if you go up for them, if you windmill for them, whatever, they were wrong. Wrong. It was ratchet. It was disgusting. It was low, and it required a clapback. There was no way that Porsha was going to be able to sit there and not have something to say to Shamea in response. So Shamea went low, and Porsha took it straight to hell, because at this point, Shamea might need to get some DNA tests in her family, according to what Porsha said. Okay, because allegedly, Mama Morton was sleeping around with one of Shamea's uncles, according to Miss Diane, according to Porsha. So who knows? Who knows if it's true or not? Who knows if it's true or not? It's just wrong. And it's got everybody really uncomfortable, right? And so Drew and Angela are wondering, like, why the hell did she even come to the club?
That was intentional. You walk in after what just happened to someone you called your best friend for over a decade. Like nothing's wrong. We haven't been friends that long, but if I did something that offended you in that moment, I wouldn't come in with energy. It would be like.
So Drew was like, if I did something to offend you, I wouldn't come in with that energy. I would come in like, can we talk? Can we? No, we can't talk. First of all, no, we cannot talk, because it's the end of the day. I done been drinking. You done said this shit about my mama. If you want to come to this club, I'm out, because I don't know what I'm going to do to you. So I think leaving was probably, or at least separating herself from her, was the right thing for Porsha to do in that moment. But that did not mean that everybody else had to follow or had to leave because Porsha was leaving. But at the same time, is that why they left? It's the end of the freaking night. They done did a lot that day. Okay. So we tired. We tired. And they had a busy day the next day because Phaedra was taking some of them to the cemetery. Yeah, the cemetery. But Phaedra is a morticianist, so that's like she's into that. And so they were in Scotland, so she wanted to take some of the girls to the cemetery the next morning, and she took Shamea, Cynthia, let's see, Phaedra, Cynthia, Shamea, and I think Kelli. I think Kelli. Well, let's see. She took them to the cemetery. Then the other girls were going to stay at home and go into the spa that was there on the grounds. But that was a joke. The whole spa thing was a joke because it was not a U.S. spa at all.
Well, I want to have a conversation with her. I think we need to be away from here so we can, really chat. But it's a cemetery, so we can bury it. Yeah. I don't know. It ain't gonna be buried. It's very much risen from the dead.
I know that's right. I know that's right. Portia, like, it was buried. It was buried. But now the shit is risen from the dead because she done bought this shit up on national television about my mother. And there is no way that I can let that go. And she got that shit from her mother. That's why we gonna say blame the mamas for all of this drama. And mamas who had unfinished business, and mothers who do not see their daughters for who they really are. Okay? Let's get real about who your daughters really are, and the shit that they really pull, and how low that they are really willing to go. Okay? How ugh, I digress. I'm not gonna call the girls classless. I'm not gonna say they lack class, but they lack something. Common sense, tact, coof. There's nothing demure about yelling out at a dinner table that your mother tried to sleep with my dad in front of a bunch of people and cameras. There's nothing demure or classy about saying, well, I heard that your mother slept with your father's brother. It's nothing, there's no excuse for it, and there's nothing ladylike about it. And these women need to be serious and get real about the kids that they raised. Okay. And the examples that they have set for them in different ways throughout their lives. Because people say, you can't control what your adult children do. And hell no, you cannot control it. But you can control the things that come out of your mouth, and the way that when you're a mother, you never stop mothering. Okay. You never stop mothering. And as long as you have children on this earth and your kids are making decisions that are going to affect their life for the good or the bad, you're going to always have feelings on that, right? Now, whether or not you express those feelings and how you go about expressing those feelings could mean the difference between if your message is received or not. We can go back to Mama Joyce and her way of doing things, right? Mama Joyce had feelings and she never let her feelings keep her. She never kept her feelings bottled up inside. She didn't care if the cameras were there. She was going to tell Kandi when she thought she was wrong, when she thought she was making a mistake. She was also her biggest cheerleader and her biggest supporter. So it was not just that she was down on Kandi or just that she told Kandi everything that Kandi wanted to hear. She told Kandi the things that Kandi needed to hear, whether Kandi wanted to hear them or not. And that is the difference. And if one thing Mama Joyce can do is rest well at night saying, at least I told her. At least I told her. She might not have listened, but at least I told her the truth. Okay. So that is the difference between Mama Joyce, Mama Morton, and Miss Diane. That's the difference between the three ladies. Okay. So they're going to go to the cemetery, some of them. And so Shamea is in the car with the ladies and she's expressing to them how it was kind of disappointing and it was unfortunate that you guys walked out in the middle of my song.
I did not get out there that quick. I actually was still on the dance floor enjoying Shamea's song, Never Had. I do appreciate you at least greeting me, but I did feel I was a little disappointed because I'm like, well, I didn't even want to come out. What Shamea is accusing Porsha's mom.
Like, even the way that she said that, she's always the victim. Well, I appreciate you at least coming out and greeting me. At least coming out and greeting me because I didn't even want to come out. Cynthia's probably thinking, and I didn't ask you to. That's between you and Kelli. Kelli told you to get that kilt on because we going to the club. Nobody in that club was checking for Shamea except for maybe the producers. You know what I'm saying? They wanted her to come. They wanted to see the tension and wanted to get it on camera and all that. But I can guarantee you that 50 Cent was not worried about if Shamea was coming to the club or not that night. So for her to even say it like that, because I didn't even want to come. Okay, so you didn't, so don't go. Because you didn't want to come and you did come, we're supposed to feel like you sacrificed for us and make a big deal about the fact that you're there? That's just weird, right? Like, why the victimhood? Why is she always the victim, even on something that simple? Kelli told you to get up and go to the club. So unless another conversation happened that we weren't privy to, why are you telling me that you didn't even want to come? I don't care. I don't care if you came or not, if I'm Cynthia. Right? Who cares? But she wants somebody to get up and surround her and jump up and down because Shamea here, Shamea's here. So the fuck what? So what? And that's what I would say. These girls don't keep it real enough. I'll be like, so what you want us to do? You want an award because you came? You want to pass the next time you F up because you came to the club tonight? Like, what is it that you want us to do because you came? The way that you're phrasing that is like you expected something of us because I didn't even want to come. I didn't even want to come. And then she look around. Like, so what? I don't get it. I don't get it. And then she has to go ahead and give even more, context to it or whatever and explain why she didn't want to come. We know why you didn't want to come. You just got into it with your ex-best friend at the table and the relationship is over. The one that you sacrificed for 10 years of disrespect for. The one that you let somebody talk crazy to you for 10 years and dim your light because they were intimidated by your shine for 10 years. And that relationship is finally over. And because y'all done said some shit that you can't come back from about each other's mothers, and you want to explain to us, we was there.
And I want to give you some context and understanding as to how things are growing and just festering to the top, and it's glorified. So she made a public post about Mama. The post went viral, and she was already going to do a lot of health stuff. And it was just like, damn.
So Shamea is saying that she's going back to the post that Porsha made about her mother. Now we have to say this though. We have to add context, like Shamea says. Let's add a little context here, okay? That post was made as Porsha is watching the episode and hearing you say to Cynthia that that your mother's issues go way back. Okay? Let's not forget that part. I think that sometimes when people want to paint a certain narrative and they have decided that they are the victim or they are innocent or they are the villain or they are whatever, they eliminate parts of the conversation or parts of the narrative to further their own narrative, right? So it's like she acts like we forgot that part of it. Now, did Porsha have to say all of that? No, she didn't, because it wasn't like Shamea said they aren't friends because of something Miss Diane did to my mom years ago. And then Porsha clapped back with, well, you know, your mother did something egregious to my mother. Like that was really the first blow. While Shamea was the first one to bring up the mothers and their issues, Porsha was absolutely the first one to add any kind of context to the issues. Okay. And then she furthered that context at the reunion by revealing that Shamea's mother had purchased her mother's daycare building. Right. And so, but Shamea seems to act like she doesn't know why there's all this division. And again, it's as if she forgot that we saw it and that the ladies of Real Housewives of Atlanta lived it. They lived the experiences that have led to the division in this group involving Shamea. And she act like they forgot.
And Shamea have been the best of friends. And I am sure where the demise has happened because Shamea has been definitely stirring the pot. You told Pinky I said she ate meat. Phaedra around here told me I ate meat. Yeah, you did. No, I didn't.
So Phaedra said that she is sure. She didn't say, I'm not sure the demise happened. She said, I am sure where the demise happened because Shamea is around here stirring the pot. She told Pinky that I said she eats meat. But that's not the only thing she did. And we don't need to rehash everything that Shamea did. But if we can just touch on the things that she did, you can understand why there is beef with Shamea and all of these people, right? And the whole Pinky and Phaedra of it all is just one part.
Phaedra around here told me I ate meat. I ain't never told nobody you ate no meat. And said possibly Shamea said it. Yeah, you did. No, I did not. I remember telling you Pinky had lots of accolades and one was on it.
So again, Shamea has this way of twisting things and twisting people's words around to fit the narrative that she wants to create. Because when they rolled the tapes back on that scene, that was not what Phaedra said. She said that Pinky owned a Jamaican restaurant selling oxtails and everything, right? Selling pork, selling meat, whatever. And so Shamea took that as Pinky eats meat, and Phaedra told her that. Like she's starting shit, whether she knows it or not. And so I often question, does she do it on purpose? And then if she gets selective amnesia, or is she one of those 265 days a year girls? You know what I'm saying? Like, is that what she and Porsha had in common? Because I really can't see what they had in common other than partying and wanting to date rich men, right? And I mean, that's something to have in common. If you're going to do it, you might as well get yourself somebody with some access to them, right? So Shamea had the access and Porsha had the platform. So, you know, that's neither here nor there. I understand that. But I just don't understand how Shamea sometimes gets, and Porsha, they both have a way of twisting around people's words to mean something totally different than what the person actually meant. And Shamea also, you know, she got real catty with Angela. So then she has to understand where this division is coming from.
You. So it almost feels like you're picking.
Why do you always think you're a victim? Nobody's picking on you. We can go back.
You even said you had a gift, girl. A gift?
And my discernment.
Your discernment was off. Use your discernment to help you sell some houses.
You understand what I'm saying? Like she hits below the belt. Like that was the discernment. The discernment they were talking about was when Angela said that she felt like Shamea may have been telling K.Michelle something and trying to get her against them or whatever. Like that would be an opinion, right? And if her discernment was off, then it was off. But what did that have to do with her selling some houses? So Shamea hits below the belt, and then she wants to act like she doesn't understand where the division comes from or why everybody has a problem with her. Every time someone attempts to make up with her, to sit down with her, to have a conversation with her, she comes with a different kind of energy. And it's not one of someone who is trying to mend friendships or relationships. It's the energy of someone who is like, it is what it is. We can do whatever. And she seems to take things to hell and makes conversations that were intended to be make up conversations, break up conversations. But her mother doesn't seem to understand that. And this is what I mean when I say blame the mamas. Now we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into the mamas and their roles.
At the end of the day, you got people that want to make you negative. Oh, Shamea, it's you. We think it's you. Then let them have their little crazy, garbage thoughts to themselves and take it and run with it, okay? I think it's unfortunate because it's not feeling like a sisterhood.
No, it's not feeling like a sisterhood for you, Shamea. It would not be feeling like a sisterhood when you have no sisters in this group other than Kelli, right? Because of the way that you have either cultivated these relationships or moved within the relationships once they were already there, okay? So your mother, who would let you think that those are people's garbage thoughts because they have an opinion about the divisiveness and the negativity in the relationships, right? So her mother emboldens her or enables her to be the victim by validating her thoughts, by validating her thoughts of everybody else is picking on me, right? So if everybody wants to say that you're the one being negative, let them have a little garbage thoughts. Well, baby, are you? Are you being negative? You did go back and make it seem like Drew said something last year that she really didn't say in regards to Pilar and making money working with Dennis. That wasn't very nice. You did laugh when Porsha said what she said about Angela and Charles, and when Angela told you how she felt as a married woman, you kind of doubled down on it, sweetheart. You know, that wasn't the right thing to do. I can understand why Angela would feel like that towards you. Why'd you go back and try to stir the pot between Drew and Porsha? Why did you do that? That is why they would think that it's you that's being negative. Let's look at the things that you have done in the way that you have moved, right? But if your mother, the woman who birthed you, the one who you have the utmost respect for, the one who everything that they say and do is the right thing, if your mother validates your feelings of being the victim and of everybody picking on you, then you will continue to think that you are the victim and everybody's picking on you. That's why I say blame they mamas, blame they mothers. So meanwhile, Phaedra is at the cemetery, honey, and she done found her little boyfriend. She at the cemetery and she done grabbed the guy by the damn arm. He has given them this wonderful tour of the cemetery and told them these different stories. Apparently, the lady who wrote Harry Potter was inspired by some graveyards and all this. And Phaedra says that she likes to visit graveyards and different places that she visits because how people treat their dead is a testament of how civilized they are in a society, right? I don't know about that though. I don't know about that because you got a lot of very, very, very wealthy people with like very elaborate burials in resting places, and they didn't had incest and all kind of crazy stuff in their background and in their family, and how they treated each other. So that's not a very civilized society. It's because you have the money to and the means to put your people away well or in elaborate resting places doesn't mean that you're a civilized society. You could be real messed up. But again, it's about images and the way things look and appear to some of these ladies, not really what it is, right? And so, yeah, Phaedra around there flirt with this little man, and she know damn well she would not have this dude. But that's just the Phaedra loves to live in her feminine energy. So if that means that I need to pretend like I need help walking on these cobblestone here in Scotland, and I'm gonna grab the Undertaker's arm while we walk around this cemetery, and that's what I'll do.
The man I have been dreaming about. Did she plan a date with this man and just brought us along in case it didn't work out? It's giving chaperone. We are cooking, honey. Let me cook. Really, beloved, we are.
Yeah. So, baby, they was having some chemistry. They was bonding over dead people in cemetery stories. They had this like one room they could go into and do like an exorcism. They said that the room had an exorcism done on it, and the person who did the exorcism ended up dying a few days later. So Phaedra take her silly butt up in the room, and she's in there acting like and she says it's like she's hearing voices. It's like the death of Porsha and Shamea's friendship. And I said it last time in my last video about the friendship, honey. It is DOA, dead on arrival. Somebody call the coroner. Okay. The friendship is over. It is over. So while they doing all that and going through all that, Porsha is at home talking to Lauren and giving her the rundown on the mess that just happened the night before.
Shamea then turns and says to me, the lie about her mom saying that my mom wanted to sleep with her dad at some point. What the? Why? Yes. Would she say that? I don't know. Her daddy ain't never had teeth. There's no way I would repeat that in front of anybody.
Did y'all catch that? Porsha said her daddy ain't never had teeth. So you know my mama didn't try to go with him. You know it's a lie because her daddy ain't never had no damn teeth. Okay? I died. That is those are the kind of reads that make people laugh at the shit that Porsha says. And I hate to say it, but those are the things that make her likable in spite of her ratchet behavior. And yeah, I said ratchet, because if we're going to be honest, Porsha done some ratchet stuff, okay? She has done some ratchet stuff, and her mother don't tell her that she ratchet, so she walk around here thinking this shit is cute when really is ratchet, okay? It's ratchet. Oh my gosh. So Porsha is pissed. She done said the girl daddy ain't never had no teeth. And she's also upset because, Shamea used Pilar to pivot into the conversation, and that's not cool. Like, and Porsha went on to say too that like she ain't trying to go pick up Shiloh and what's the other baby name? Shia. Why she worried about Pilar?
Off camera, Shamea was gloating to Cynthia by saying, oh, it's fine that me and her are cool. I still get to spend time with PJ. She was just saying that, she still has a relationship with Dennis because that's the only way she really gets to see Pilar.
Like, you really worried about seeing Pilar like that? Like, it just happened. Well, y'all fell out a year ago, right? Like, I don't know how often she was hanging out with Porsha and Pilar before then, but they probably did hang out a good bit during the filming, especially in the I don't know. Let me not make assumptions about that, but I don't think that I would be, even if I was worried about the baby, miss the baby, my babies was asking about the babies. I don't know that if me and the mama had fallen out the way that they have fallen out, that I would be too worried about that relationship, especially knowing that our mothers had issues too. So at this point, you're talking about bringing in a third generation of so-called friends whose mamas have issues. That's stupid, right? So let's end it right now while they 7, 8 years old and they won't even remember each other in 10 years. Like, it'll be over. Like, let's just cut the shit short right now. And do you really want, okay, so, and like Porsha says, she's not trying to go pick up Shiloh and what's the other one name? Shyla. What's the baby name? Shiloh and whatever the other baby name is. Shira. I just said it. Now I forgot that quick. Anyway, she's not trying to go pick them up. Portia forgot their names too at this point. Okay. She likes to stop worrying about Pilar and stop trying to use Pilar. I don't want to see my baby on Instagram with y'all. I don't want to see her in y'all pool. I don't want to see her eating chicken nuggets with your babies. None of that. Okay. Because when you post Pilar, you about to get all kind of clicks and views. And I don't know what Shiloh and little Shiloh over there doing. So don't put my baby on there with y'all. Like, don't use my baby for clout. And that's what Porsha said. Now, why she would think that it would be clout, I don't know. Maybe she's saying don't use my child to stay around me or to stay in my life, just like you've used me all these years for this show. I don't know. Like, don't use my baby when you really don't want to. You don't fool with me like that. At the end of the day, I can totally understand that. If you don't fool with me, then you're not coming to get my baby. And especially if we have said the things to each other that we have now said to each other, you better believe you're not coming to get my baby. Right? You're just not. And so again, that's another thing. It's like Shamea act like she damn delusional or she 265 days a year. You know? I'm not sure which one it is. I'm really not. And then she knows because she's been Portia's friend all these years that Portia cutoff game is strong. When Portia is done with you, she is done with you. And it can take time and put some time in between it, just like with her and Candy and her and Phaedra and her and Cynthia and her and Nene. She fall out with everybody. But one thing that Portia is not going to do really like is give you a genuine apology until she's ready to give you one. And that is the truth. She's not giving no apology until she's ready to give you one. And in this next clip, you're going to see Kelli and Shamea talking, and Shamea kind of lets us know that she's the opposite. She will give the apology even if she don't damn mean it, and that's the problem.
How do you feel like the conversation went in the car? It was just easier for me to just apologize, no matter, even if I didn't feel like I was wrong. But I have found a little bit more peace and light and just.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's easy for her to apologize even if she doesn't feel like she's wrong. So when you do the Dear Sweet 16 apology on her, when she did that apology on her YouTube channel after the last season, like she didn't mean none of that shit. And you know she didn't mean it because she came back this season still bringing up the same stuff. So I feel like Shamea doesn't know who she is, right? And to apologize knowing you don't mean it is some fake shit. That's fake. Don't give me no apology if you know you don't mean it, because that means that it can happen again, right? And if you don't or that you don't understand what you really did. So that's just so fake. And it's like, where did she learn that fake stuff from? Where did she learn that fake stuff from? And I blame it on her mama. I blame it on her mother. So after that, they get in the car, they're driving back home or driving back to the house, and they're having a conversation. And Shamea asked Phaedra like what it's been like co-parenting with Apollo and dating after Apollo.
So I've only really had, I guess, 2 boyfriends in those 7 years. Like, some women, they jump into quick relationships. I'm not that girl.
So y'all believe that? Let me know in the chat if you guys believe that Phaedra has only dated really 2 people after she and Apollo split up 7 years ago. I mean, it could be true when she says dated. That don't mean that's all she ever, like Phaedra probably like she busy. Phaedra is booked and busy with 2 boys and she's of a certain age, okay? So if she is anything like a lot of women I know of at her age, which is 50, like she's not really that interested in laying up under somebody every single night, you know? Like she got her own money, her own life, and she has 2 boys that she's raising and that she has to provide good examples for as well. So who she might want to lay up with might not be somebody she wants to actually date. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I picture Phaedra like at the hole in the wall club, baby, dating with the YNs, like dancing with the YNs to some young boy. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I picture Phaedra doing. I don't even think Phaedra would like the jazz clubs, if you ask me personally. personally, okay? Or she might listen to jazz in the club and R. Kelly in the bedroom, okay? You know what I'm saying? She like 12 play, a little honey love around this piece. So Phaedra not worried about having nobody up under her all the time. So she could be telling the truth about that. Who knows? But I tell you somebody who was not telling the truth, and that was Porsha, because while the other girls were on their way home, they were back at the villa and they were gonna go to this spa that they had in the at the house, right? So a spa, sometimes people refer to a bathroom as a spa, you know, a shower or a soaking tub as a spa. So I guess when they said spa at the villa that they were staying at, it, or the castle, the house, the estate, whatever it wasn't necessarily what the girls had in mind.
That's cute. These are not the accommodations that I'm used to. This is not a spa.
Oh,
Oh my god.
let me see how hot it is. Okay, it's me.
Yeah.
It stings. Yeah, it's too hot. Oh,
Girl.
They like, y'all got a blow up hot tub and a steam room on wheels, honey. That would be nice just to like have like a little party business or something, you know, that would be cute. But that definitely was not what these ladies are used to. They used to going to the St. Regis, honey, and the Waldorf and you know all of that. They are not trying to be going to the spa in the backyard. And so they sat down and they had a little bit well, let me go back to this. So yeah, so they sat down after that and they had a little conversation and they got to talking about the whole Shamea of it all. And I'm sorry, Porsha said something like along the lines of, you know, like if there was any hope for reconciliation, like it's over now. And I was just about to kind of start letting her back in, and then she goes and does this. And Kay is like, this half a lion, and we know she was.
us to be back or even start that leg, we were on our way. She's fine. We've talked several times. You never said that you was gonna try to make amends with Shamea. Say that, Crocker.
Right. Like, what are you talking about? Now, one thing about Porsha, though, Porsha has a way about her where she can go on about her business and act like nothing even happened. Like, she can laugh and talk and joke and just really act like you're not even there. Like, you do not bother her. If anything, you make her more unbothered. Okay. Porsha being around an enemy makes Porsha more unbothered. Um, like she will just act like everything is good and everything is happy and you're not going to steal my joy and I'm just being Porsha and what? Who said that? And you know, and it's so it makes it hard for people to sometimes see her fault in things because she don't really take it there until you take it there, right? And in the meantime, she's acting very bubbly and very just happy to be there and whatever. So it makes Shamea look like the angry friend and Porsha look like different when really Portia knows that acting like that is pushing Shamea's buttons, and Shamea does not have a poker face enough to not let Portia know that it's pushing her buttons. Portia acting like she's unbothered is killing Shamea. It's killing Shamea. And so they were asking, like, what were their thoughts on it? And Pinky let them know that she's kind of seen a change in Shamea since all this started happening, right? Which you would, because Shamea wears her heart on her sleeve. So you can't help but to see the change.
I have seen some changes. When we was at the airport, I was talking to Shamea, and I'm like, "You ready for the trip?" And basically, she was like, "I'm ready for whatever's ready for me." What's that energy? Right, that's energy. Oh, that's a lot.
To come like that, I was shocked.
So K.Michelle said that she was shocked because all she's ever heard was, you know, Shamea saying how much she regrets the relationship being where it's at and how much she's really mourning the loss of the relationship, which you do when you break up with somebody, whether it's a partner or a friendship or, you know, a platonic friendship, whatever, like you mourn the loss of the relationship. When someone passes away, you mourn the loss of the relationship with the person. Um, so I can understand Shamea being in mourning about the loss of the relationship. And so, Kay is surprised to hear that Shamea has this, well, I'm ready for whatever is coming at me attitude. And I'm sure that Shamea's mother would also be surprised to hear that, because she's done all this praying over Shamea and praying over everybody else in their relationships and all of this motivational talks and stuff. But like, again, she doesn't know who her daughter is. Shamea's mother does not know that her daughter keeps up the shit. Her daughter keeps it up. And so while you telling her that it's garbage thoughts when everybody else says that she's negative and that she causes the divisiveness, that emboldens her to keep up this sour face victimhood mentality. And it's disgusting. It's not helping her at all. Tell her the truth. Tell her the truth. So, anyways, while the ladies are at home, or the other ladies are on their way back to the house, these ladies are at home having this conversation or whatever. Then they decide to go ahead and start planning Phaedra's birthday dinner, which is going to take place there at the house in this secret room that Phaedra has no idea even existed, even though it's next to her bedroom, right? And so they go in there and they check it out or whatever, and they it's gonna be nice. And so yeah.
5 minutes? Okay, we gotta go. So when y'all come, we've just been kind of lounging. We're gonna go on back to the room. And so, okay, when you get here, just text me. Okay.
Did y'all see what Pinky had on? Let's talk about Pinky, how she need to be trying to figure out who her friends are in this group, okay? Because that was not it, Pinky. That was not it at all. And I thought I know I did, but see how the good Lord worked? See how the good Lord worked? Because I had a screenshot of Pinky's outfit that I planned on uploading. And the good Lord said, you are not going to be that damn messy today, okay? You are not going to be that damn messy, but y'all saw the outfit. Let's watch the video one more time.
5 minutes? Okay, we gotta go. So when y'all come, we've just been kind of lounging. We're gonna go on back to the room. And so, okay, when you get here, just text me. Okay.
And y'all know how Pinky walk, right? And we hardly ever see her in heels. So she just walking around that little net bodysuit, little booty out, And these girls are shallow. There's nothing wrong with Pinky's normal, regular, authentic body. There's nothing wrong with it at all. But you're hanging with a bunch of shallow women who get their bodies done and maintained on a regular, okay? So I applaud Pinky for being confident and secure enough to wear that with her normal body, even in spite of her company, the company that she was around. So let's give it up for Pinky Cole in that moment, okay? Let's give it up for Pinky Cole in the natural body, natural booty. Let's give it up for Pinky. Let me find a damn a little let's find a little sound effect for Pinky Cole in the natural booty. Okay. If you guys agree with that, and like that took a lot of confidence to wear that, right? Around these ladies and on national television. Or do you think that Pinky even thought twice about it, babe? Because Pinky thinks she's a bad girl, okay? You can't tell Pinky she ain't bad as all of them. You cannot tell her she's not as bad as all of them. And I love that. I love that for her. Okay. I love that for her. So the ladies get back and they go and they're putting on their sashes, right? Because remember, the men have kilts and the ladies wear these sashes over there in Scotland. And so all the plaid means something different. So different families wear certain plaids, different it's probably from politics to social status to everything, single women, married women, whatever. So anyways, I'm making all that up. I don't really know if that's true, but I do know that they said that the plaid all means something. What it means, I don't know. But so they all go and they get their plaid things, scarves or stoles or whatever you call them. And they looked good, you guys. They looked so good. Like Angela's matched her dress, like her outfit so well. I didn't see K.Michelle put hers on. K.Michelle had on like this beautiful like silver gown. Like it was a Ferrell gown, okay? And then Shamea had on like this blue short suit, like short shorts with like a blazer and like high boots, and then her little plaid stole, and it looked really, really good. And then Miss Porsha come out looking like Betty Boop, and she looked amazing. And you know the girls, you know. Let's see.
We heard she felt like she didn't feel supported last night. She just feels at this point she can't win for losing, kind of thing.
So that was Cynthia kind of telling them about how their day went with Shamea. Okay. And Shamea was telling them how she didn't feel heard. She didn't feel supported at the dinner that night. And Cynthia said that she told her, like, if Porsha would have said those things, I forgot what she said, but she said something like, I would have supported you. If it would have been said about you, I would have supported you. You know, had it been said, had Porsha said the first thing, I would have supported you. But Shamea was the one that came out swinging. So that's the part that I don't understand. Like Shamea wants them to support her in her bad behavior, support her in her inappropriate outburst. Like, what is it that you want support in? You wanted them to run to you after you said those things about Miss Diane, about someone else's mother? Like, that's not really realistic, right? And so, but Kay still has a soft spot for Shamea, and she doesn't want Shamea to feel ganged up on.
That's what pulls on my heartstring. I don't want anyone to feel like they're being bullied or they're on the island alone. Well, hello.
So, and look, did y'all see the way that Angela looked at the end of that clip? Let me play it one more time. Watch the clip.
That's what pulls on my heartstring. I don't want anyone to feel like they're being bullied or they're on the island alone. Well, hello.
You see how Angela looked? Angela's thinking that's how she did me last year. She didn't give a shit if I was on the island by myself last year. You weren't here, but that is why I don't feel sorry for your homegirl. That is what Angela is thinking, right? And rightfully so, because Shamea seems to forget the shit that she pulled last year with Angela. It wasn't just that she laughed about the comment that Porsha made. She also went on in front of the psychic that they had at Cynthia's house when the psychic said that Charles had been looking at a Porsche. Shamea was like, I'm gonna be messy. I'm gonna be messy. But was he sure it was a Porsche and not a Porsche? That's what she said, you know? Like she was intentionally hurtful. Britt said that it was Shamea down at the pool saying that Charles was always outside and that Charles had an outside baby and all of that, right? And then when somebody said, in her confessional, she said something stupid, like, well, if somebody said that about Gerald, I would just be like, well, where's the baby at? If it's a boy, can we have him? Yeah, that's what she said. So it's like, I don't understand how Shamea doesn't understand how she is the one that causes these things and brings this shit on herself, right? And then you have her mother around here telling her this kind of bullshit.
I mean, I guess I'm trying to get excited, but we've had so many field transfers, so it's like,
it can get discouraging.
Yeah, and I'm beginning to worry about your body. It's draining, and it's emotionally draining because you get excited, then it's like nothing.
What you worried about her body for? She's looking for a surrogate. Like, is she so much of a victim that it's going to affect her body trying to get a surrogate to have a baby for her? What am I missing here? Is she saying that she worries about her body? Like if she had to do another round of IVF? Is that what she's worried about? Like somebody help me out. Because I don't understand what Shamea looking for a surrogate and how that surrogate process is going would make her mother worry about her body. It's not like Shamea's trying to get pregnant. But it's things like that that continue and perpetuate this victimhood mentality, right? And I don't know if her mother understands that she's doing that, because you can love your kids, and we all love our children, don't get me wrong. But a part of loving them and a part of being a friend and a good mother and a good parent is to tell them when they are wrong and to not embolden the bullshit, to not uphold the bullshit. Okay. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's like, why is she so precious that it's going to affect her body trying to get a surrogate? I blame the mamas. Like, the mamas perpetuate this. The mothers, okay, the bullshit. They okay the madness. Okay, they do. And we're gonna get on Miss Diane too. Don't get mad at me, because we're gonna be about to get on Miss Diane too. Believe that. We're gonna get on Miss Diane as well. Okay. So Porsha comes out. This is the kind of bullshit. This is the kind of bullshit. The way that Shamea looked in this next clip is the exact thing that I'm talking about. Okay. When her mother goes back and rewatches these shows, I hope she tells her, now, Shamea, you ain't have to do all that. Now, Shamea, you really were doing a lot. Now, Shamea, you were kind of wrong there. Okay. Like, let's hold her accountable, because it's like Porsha's presence alone bothers her, but then she can't seem to understand why everybody wanted to leave the club when she walked in. I don't get it.
Oh my God. Okay.
The tension is so thick, you get cut it with a knife. You look like Betty Boop. You're so cute.
Why she's so bothered that Pinky said that Porsha was cute? Why does that bother Shamea? Y'all can't all be cute. Porsha was cute. Porsha looked good as hell in that white dress. She ain't put that little thing over it. Y'all saw that. Porsha said, I ain't putting mine on tonight. I want y'all to see all of it. I ain't wearing mine tonight. I wear mine later. I'm gonna take mine home with me. Put mine in a bag, box mine up, okay? But why is Shamea so visibly bothered by Porsha's presence and Porsha looking good? Okay, they all looks beautiful. Why is she so bothered by Pinky giving Porsha a compliment? Or does she think that Pinky complimenting Porsha is some kind of way a dig at her, or that Pinky is kissing Porsha's butt by giving her that compliment? Y'all let me know. Was Pinky kissing Porsha's butt by giving her that compliment? Is that why Shamea was so visibly bothered by it? Or is Shamea just worried that now they're becoming friends and now I'm going to lose somebody else because she has to have numbers on her side, or she wants numbers on her side? Like, what is that about, right? Why is she so visibly bothered by Porsha's unbotheredness? Because Porsha ain't bothered at all. How did Porsha standing up right there next to her? Porsha standing right next to Shamea, like, girl, look at me. Look at me. And it's that kind of shit that gets under Shamea's skin, because Porsha could walk into that room and not even acknowledge Shamea with the biggest smile on her face, and you would have no idea. You would have no idea that Porsha was even bothered. Let's watch that clip one more time.
Oh my God. Okay.
The tension is so thick, you get cut it with a knife. You look like Betty Boop. You're so cute.
So why is the tension so thick though, y'all? Who's making the air thick? Who's putting the tension in the air, Porsha or Shamea? Let me know in the comments. Who's putting the tension in the air, Porsha or Shamea? Okay. Ladies go and they sit down at dinner, and they're in the room next to Phaedra's room, and Phaedra had no idea they had this surprise for her, and Phaedra walked out looking like Dolly Parton. I said, Phaedra, there's no way Phaedra bought her own hairdresser to Scotland. She used somebody local to Scotland.
See that the ladies have come together and created this wonderful room, a secret room that's actually next to my bedroom that I had no idea about. I'm so honored. I'm super excited. Thank you.
So at least they can come together and sit their butts down to eat, right? Food always brings people together. Them one thing about them girls in Atlanta, they gonna get their food. They're gonna eat. They gonna get it to go. We can fuss, but bag my shit up, okay? Bag it up. I'm taking it home after the scene. So they go and they sit down for dinner, and they began to tell Phaedra what all she means to them. And Cynthia lets Phaedra know, we came in this thing together. We both started the same season, and things weren't always the best for us, but I'm so glad that we are now. And you've been through so much, and you've done it all just looking so good, so effortlessly. You've done it all so fabulously. And then Porsha goes on to tell Phaedra how she feels about her, and how she was able to call her when she couldn't call anybody else.
The things that I have been through silently, and I have needed someone when I could not call anybody, and how you show through. You have just been such a lovely friend.
Y'all best friends? Phaedra wasn't even at your wedding.
Baby, K.Michelle was about to bust out laughing, and Shamea was about to spit out her drink. But that's the kind of shit too that Shamea does. Shamea has no poker face whatsoever. And so while Porsha is paying Shamea dust, Shamea is so bothered she can't even hide it, right? She can't even hide it. And it's like, I don't think that Shamea's mother realizes that her daughter is this way. Or maybe that's why she always trying to pray it up out of her. I don't know. I don't know. But um, so she's just like questioning, like, are they best friends now? But the whole freaking frack thing of it all, like, that really, really, really bothered Shamea, because she was talking about them being freaking frack back in season 10, right after season 9, when they filmed her bridal shower, and she was telling Porsha, you chose Phaedra over me. You chose Phaedra over me. I've never chosen Candy over you. I've never chose. Y'all are freaking frack. So that whole freaking frack thing really, really, really bothers Shamea, because Shamea probably feels like we are the ones that act so silly like this off camera, and then you get on camera and you act this way with Phaedra. But I think that Porsha would find someone to act that way with regardless, because Porsha just wants to have fun, right? Or at least that's what she presents. But Porsha also wants to be the center of attention and the queen bee. And so at some point, and by any means necessary as well. And she don't give a shit who she hurt. She don't give a shit what girl code is, friend code, or anything like that. Porsha is out for Porsha. And Porsha is not only out for Porsha, but Porsha got everybody, not everybody, but people depending on her. Miss Diane lived with Porsha. You know, Porsha got Miss Diane's body done, or at least the sponsorship. Porsha put her in the hair and all of that. So Miss Diane is kind of lets Porsha get away with murder. And to the point where Porsha can do this bullshit and say this kind of bullshit to Phaedra, and people buy it, and they don't question what Porsha says either, because her mother is just as bad as Shamea's when it comes to upholding the BS. Okay. And Lauren and Londi were the only two people in Porsha's life that were able to call Porsha out on her shit, and Dennis as well, but she don't really listen to Dennis. You know what I'm saying? At all. She don't listen to Dennis. And then they all end up having to pay for the things, or not all, but Lauren has said before that she feels like she has to always pick up the pieces when Porsha does the shit that Porsha does. Lauren and Dennis have expressed the same things. And so in this next clip, Lauren is talking about, we've had on this show, like, let's go back to when Porsha was going off on Kelli, right? Porsha goes off on Kelli, and Porsha says whatever the hell she wants to say too, with no regard to if it's true or not. And she has to get her lick back. You say something to Porsha and offend her, she will get her lick back. She is very, very petty like that.
Everybody know who that man is, who you had sex with. And yes, he was married. He was lying on me last year. I licked your ass back and you mad about it.
Who is he? Because I don't know. It sounds like Porsha on me.
What are you talking about? I licked your ass back and you mad about it, right? You lied on me last year. You lied on me last year. Well, your sister also said he was married.
Hell, she's still trying to get to know him.
Did anything surprise you about the relationship?
I mean, he was married, so that surprised me.
So what do you mean? What do you mean? We all saw. The world saw what happened with Porsha and Simon. The world saw it, right? But Porsha would have us believe the louder she yells that somebody is lying on her, that shit is believable. And that shit is upheld by her mother because her mother don't tell her that she's wrong.
Okay?
My first thought was, oh crap, this is not going to be good.
They were saying that she was a husband snatcher.
What people were saying was so vicious, as if they know these things as fact.
What do you mean as if they know these things as fact, Miss Diane? We saw Porsha walk into that woman's house, be introduced to her husband, and a few months later, she was engaged to the man a month after he supposedly separated from his wife. We saw that. But you would rather defend Porsha than tell Porsha that the shit don't look right. And maybe you should pump the brakes, right? But is that because Miss Diane looking for that check too? You buy the daughter and get the mama for free? Is that how this works? Because it seemed like as long as Simon was giving Porsha gifts and shit, Miss Diane was happy.
At the door, and he came bearing many gifts. Oh, I love it.
Some of them were practical gifts.
Ooh,
You like it?
this smell like money.
I almost feel sorry for Porsha. Because when you go through life and you have not been taught how these men work, you have been taught that pretty is the plan and that peach juice is the plan, if you know what I'm saying. Put a little peach juice on them and get whatever you want out of them. Even if you got to kiss an old ugly man like Simon, because ain't nothing about Simon cute, ain't nothing about Simon pretty, okay? And ain't nothing about Simon attractive from the way he talks to the way he walks to the shape of his head. And for you to be able to sit up there and watch your daughter act like she was so happy and giddy with this man because she was spraying perfume on her that smelled like money, and you sitting back there smiling, my mother would have been vomiting with disgust. She would have been disgusted by it. Instead, Miss Diane wants to benefit from it. Miss Diane wants to be Porsha's friend. How many times have we heard her say, "Hey girl," when she greets Porsha?
Hey, girl.
Oh,
Hey.
oh, you look good.
You
Let me
like
see
it?
that.
Oh,
Oh, that's gorgeous.
well, you all right, aren't you?
I'm fine.
She wasn't fine. Porsha was upset because Simon had posted on her birthday some pictures of them together in the tattoo, a picture of the tattoo that she got of his name behind her ear. And so she wasn't fine because she didn't want to hear the backlash from social media and people talking bad about her. And so Miss Diane had to give her a little pep talk, okay? Had to give her a little pep talk. But the pep talk was more about, well, you need to let him know how this makes you feel because you can't go on like this, as she laid across the bed. And all I could do was picture her eating those chicken wings on Cordell's sofa. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And she's sitting up there with her nice little go naked wig on and her new body, baby, laid across the bed. Like, baby, you got to tell him what's going on because you can't go on like this because we have to keep you happy because you got to get out there and make that money for your mama. Okay.
I looked on Twitter and I saw Cordell filing for divorce from Porsha.
You really found out about it on Twitter?
Completely blindsided.
You didn't do anything wrong. He just was the wrong damn one.
You're right.
Again, no responsibility. What do you mean you didn't do anything wrong? Baby, you weren't even being yourself. You weren't even being yourself. You was in that marriage acting like you couldn't go to the strip club, acting like you was all prim and proper when you know I didn't raise you to be like that. Okay? I didn't raise you to be all prim and proper. And that's how you was acting in that marriage. I couldn't even sit up on his couch and eat my chicken wings. No, he wasn't the right one. He wasn't letting you do whatever the hell you wanted to do. He wasn't letting you run around here and walk with the loosey booty and twerk all over the place with freaking frack. He wasn't letting you do all that. He was the wrong damn one. That's a Miss Diane told Porsha. Not, well, baby, you have to find somebody who loves you for you. Who loves you for who you really are. You lost yourself in that marriage. You sold your daycare business and gave up all of your independence to that man. And that was a mistake. So the next time you get married, we're not giving up no businesses. Okay. If I gotta run that shit for you, I'm running it. We're not giving up any businesses next time you marry somebody, okay? And how he put you out of that house and all of that, he put you out of that house. Like they've come a long way. Porsha has forgotten where she was when Cordell put her out of that house. And she had to go back and live with her mother.
This move for me is a believe in Porsha move. At the end of the day, if I end out on my ass, it'll be because of me. One, because Cordell or some man kicked me out on my ass.
Or it will be because you sold your damn security blanket to go pay for a house that's not even in your name. Because that looks better. Right? And your mother was living in that house that you bought for yourself after Cordell. You let your mother live in that house when you thought you were going to move into the big $7 million house with Simon and live rent free. But when he got deported and sent back to Nigeria after your divorce, now you stuck paying a $35,000 a month payment and you're not getting your $40,000 a month spousal support. So you go and sell the house. Now Miss Diane living in one of your guest bedrooms. But she don't tell you nothing though. She don't tell you nothing. At least we don't get to see it. Just roll with it. Just roll with it. But just make sure you keep it up though, baby. Keep that body nice and tight and right. Because we need somebody else to take care of mama. Mama gonna need some help. And you know I'm banking on you. You know I'm banking on you. Right? So I'm not gonna tell you shit when you get with this rich African that can put you in this $7 million house and provide you with this lifestyle. I'm not gonna tell you nothing about the optics. I'm not going to tell you anything about the fact that you walked into his house with his wife and walked out of the house with her husband. I ain't going to tell you nothing. I'm going to defend you. I'm going to defend you regardless, right?
So how do you feel about going out with Simon, being in the public eye? I mean, I will say this. My people understand us. They know our whole love story, everything. Exactly. But when you go talking about having like this big birthday party and people online talking about,
who are your people? Who are your people? Miss Diane and the people who are on your payroll, right? Because I don't think anybody else, not even Lauren, your sister who loves you dearly, was okay with this. But what can she do about it?
Porsha knowingly still a woman husband. I mean,
absolutely not. Everybody, what they got to say. My focus is to blend our families together, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure that happens.
What she say? Fuck everybody else and what they think. Straight up, fuck them. And when your mama telling you they don't know what they talking about, no way, baby. I just want you to be happy because they don't know what they talking about, no way. When your mama is telling you stuff like that, then you don't think you're doing anything wrong, right? You don't think you're doing anything wrong.
I see your heart. All I know is my daughter's happy. That's all I said. Mm-hmm. And I want you to stay happy.
I'm glad I could talk to you about it. I feel much better. When I tell you I couldn't even damn breathe in here, girl. I was like, Lord Jesus,
Girl, come give mama some hugs. Girl, you're going to be okay. This is only temporary, you feeling like this. You'll feel better tomorrow. And you'll be able to go right back in there and make up with him, okay? And you remember they said that they were saying that Shamea had hooked her up with him? Did y'all catch this shade? Did y'all catch this shade from the episode before last when Shamea was talking about hooking Kelli up with her new guy? I caught it. Check this out.
Kelli deserves to be loved on, cared for, taken care of. I'm so happy that I was able to introduce her to someone that's showing up for her. Did you think I would introduce my new bestie to Brokey? No.
Did you introduce your ex bestie to Brokey? Did you? I caught that. I caught that. Did Shamea set Porsha up with Simon and Simon turned out to be a fraud? Okay. Is that another reason why Porsha is salty with Shamea? Because you knew damn well he didn't have no real money. You knew damn well he didn't have no green card. And then you go and hook Kelli up with somebody who dropping 70 G's on her teeth, bitch. You know I'm over here single, messing around with Sway. Like, you know Porsha mad. And then when they got in the limo and at one point they were in the car going somewhere and they were saying something about the guy dropping the 70 G's on Kelli's teeth. That was last not this past show, but the show before that, the episode before that. They were saying something about the guy spending the money on Kelli's teeth and buying her that outfit or whatever. And Porsha was like, "Oh, who is this man? Who is this man?" And then Kelli was like, "Shamea set me up." And Shamea was like, "Yeah, I did. I set her up with him, you know." And you know Portia's blood was boiling. Like, you setting her up. You know you're supposed to give me all the rich Africans. What are you doing? What are you doing? And so meanwhile, Porsha, this is what I mean though, you guys, when I say that people are delusional. So here we have Shamea setting up Kelli with the dude, right? And he done spent the $70,000 on her teeth and all of that, right? So let's go back to the end of last season when Porsha and Shamea had already fallen out. And Shamea was about to have a damn nervous breakdown on YouTube about it and giving apologies. And her mother was on there praying for her and throwing all kind of shade and stuff, right? So we had her mother brought in one of her friends to come pray for Shamea. And they was praying about it. And they was talking about how Shamea is this virtuous woman and all of this stuff.
Cover her enemies and those that despitefully use and persecute her name, Lord God. But God, as she suffered the pain of being a physical being here on this earth, God, we ask that you just embrace her, God. Embrace her and cover her and comfort her during this time, God. And give her direction, Lord, and allow her to continue to know her purpose and why this season was granted to her, Lord God. Let her be that beacon of light for those that are lost, God. Allow the women, not just in Atlanta, but all over the world, to see what integrity and virtuous is all about, Lord God. Allow her light to shine before men, God, that they will want some of Shamea in them, Lord God. Lord, we just thank you, God, for what is to come, God. This is just the beginning of your greatness, and you're granting her the mercy and the grace that she so deserved, Lord God. She's paid the price. She's paid the price from infancy on, Lord God. And I ask that you just continue to cover and continue to keep her, God. Anything attached to her, God, I ask that you cover it right now in the mighty name of Jesus.
She said that she prays that women will see her and see the virtuous woman in her, and that men will see her and want a piece of Shamea in them. And this is what I mean when I say you are unaware of who your child is.
If someone is going to give you a $70,000 smile, he deserves to get 70,000.
I know, right? I'm gonna have to ask them to take some Novocaine home.
Bring him out.
That's so virtuous. That's so virtuous. You know what I'm saying? That's so virtuous and so wholesome. He should get 70,000 below because he spent $70,000 on his girlfriend's teeth. Yeah. Ladies, you hear that? You hear that? That's $1 per. That's $1. That is what Shamea is putting out into the world. But her mother is praying for her and praying for her enemies, honey. And that her mother got a friend over there praying that the women of the world are inspired by Shamea and her virtuousness. Okay. And that the men of the world see Shamea and want a little piece of Shamea inside of them. That's what her mother's friend was praying for. They are unaware of who their child is. And because they are unaware of who she is, or they refuse to admit who she is and how she is, they cannot tell her the truth. And the truth shall set you free.
Hey, Shamea, Daddy. I'm Drew. Oh, nice to meet you. Ain't nothing bad about you to him. Did you catch me? I looked at him. I said, okay. He looked me in my eyes, so I ain't trying to dress. You know your daughter like to come.
Baby, she cut Drew off real quick. Don't say nothing to my mama about me. But it was okay for her to say something to Angela's daughter about her. That was okay, right? That's what I mean when I say she's unaware. She's totally unaware. So she cut her off, but her mother, this is what I mean too when I say Mama Morton can't be off limits, because she's been in every damn episode since the beginning of this season. She cannot be off limits. Okay, we got to talk about her, and not talking about her disrespectfully. I respect her as a mother, and I understand that you're praying for which, like they say, you thank God in advance, right? So you pray as if it's already done. You pray as if he's already answered that prayer. You're thanking God for those things that you know you have faith are going to be done for you, right? And so I understand. But at the same time, it also says, the Bible also says to spare the rod and spoil the child, right? So if you don't tell that child and discipline that child, let them know when they are wrong or when they are straying, or, you know, what it really is, then you spoil them. And Shamea act like she's a spoiled brat. She's the youngest of 3 girls, okay? She's the baby who got a lot of attention, who was very talented, so it was always all eyes on her. But she admits that she had a smart mouth, right? And so if nobody is telling you that your mouth is vicious and the shit that you do is not okay and holding you accountable for it, because your sister's gonna love you regardless. But these heifers not your sisters. They don't give a damn. And then on top of that, you have things that some of them that money cannot buy. And money cannot buy that mother and that father that are together in that nuclear family. Money cannot buy generations of marriage, of successful marriages. And that is the stock that Shamea comes from. So the issues that people have with Shamea go beyond the money, right? They do. They do. Whether people want it, and the people, as in Porsha, whether she wants to admit it or not, the jealousy that she has for Shamea is so deep rooted, and it's in something that no one can change until Porsha deals with her own daddy issues, right? And that whole thing. So that's that. But because nobody is holding Porsha accountable either, they're allowing, not just allowing, but they're almost appearing to be okay with the behaviors as long as they getting paid and benefiting from it in some kind of way, right? As long as Porsha is getting paid and benefiting from it in some kind of way. Who cares if it's hell on her emotionally? Who cares if she can barely look at Simon without taking a damn shot or wanting to take one? You know? Who cares if Cordell was supposedly, allegedly suspected of being, you know, bisexual? You know, who cares? As long as they paying your bills and I'm benefiting from the relationship as well. Who cares? Right? Date the little boy that was 24 years old, the little football player that she was dating for a minute, 24 years old, you know? Like, and they giving a damn party for him, for her family to meet him. Who cares? Who cares? As long as they're gonna be able to take care of you. But now she can take care of herself, but she done messed around and sold her damn house. So we're gonna see how that works. Hopefully Shamea's mother is right. And you know, she kind of said, she jumped in here and was like, the devil is a liar. Like, you got to tell the devil he's a liar. And this is the kind of stuff that Kay is talking about. We have seen Shamea's mom do this. So I don't know why we would be acting like K.Michelle is lying. You know, we've seen her on camera do this at public events. So it's not far-fetched what K.Michelle is saying about Mama Morton praying for her in the club.
And if in the event that you know that there's an awkward spirit, bind it in the name of Jesus. Stand fast in the liberty wherewith Christ has set y'all free. Don't be entangled with the yokes of bondage. Y'all tell the devil he's a liar.
But even when she's doing all that praying and stuff, the look on Shamea's face is so disrespectful. Like Shamea looking like, here we go, like here we go again, mom. You know, like her daughter is not who she thinks she is. She's not who she thinks she is, and she gonna have to start praying a little bit different. I don't know. I don't know. But Shamea seems to have, issues with people, and Shamea is so unaware that she doesn't seem to understand where her fault is in the issues. And I think that that's the part that is so frustrating with the viewers and her castmates, that she just takes no accountability. And she takes no accountability because no one in her life holds her accountable, you know? And Porsha has the same thing going on, just in a different way. With Shamea, it's because she's the baby and she's spoiled, and in her family's eyes she can do no wrong, right? And in Porsha's life, it's because they need Porsha to take care of their lifestyle and fund their lifestyle. So it's two different reasons why their mothers don't hold them accountable, but nonetheless they don't hold them accountable. So what we see today is a result of that, and that's why I say I blame the mamas.
Last year, Shamea had an issue with me because I had an issue with Porsha and Porsha had an issue with me. I called you a lapdog and I owned it. Sometimes we say things when we're upset, and I definitely was upset and hurt. You played your father with my mother.
Like, that's your daughter. That's your daughter. Even though with the things that, and again, Shamea came for Drew first last season. Shamea came for Drew about her working with Dennis. She came for Drew about Drew saying that that album was going to put Pilar through college or help pay for Pilar's college. Shamea started the shit with Drew. And here you have Drew apologizing because she called out Shamea's shit and Shamea's windmilling for Porsha, even when she didn't have to. And she called Shamea a lapdog. So even when she's apologizing for it, you get Shamea barking and saying to kiss her ass, kiss her ass. So I don't think Shamea's mother is aware of who her daughter is, right? So it's like she's not holding her accountable. Instead, you making it seem like it's everybody else. So you telling her stuff like, let people have their garbage thoughts and run with them. She was pissed. Let them have their garbage thoughts and run with it. She was pissed, and Shamea gives these apologies that she doesn't even mean, to the point where even her friends are tired of hearing her apologize.
Shamea is a professional apologizer now, okay? Does she need to apologize? I think it's a little deeper than apology, because you meant to say what you said. And I don't want to see no long YouTube apology at the end of all of this.
Right. Because you meant what you said. You meant what you said, and then you doubled down on it. Like, I can understand being an introvert and having to take time to really process your feelings and how before you speak on something, or before you can even see you're wrong in it. But it seems like even when she says that she's moved on, she really hasn't, because it always still keeps coming up. Like she's not really willing to squash anything despite what she said.
All right, baby. It's all great seeing all of you. I don't have it. I move on from things. I'm able to actually truly forgive. I'm looking forward to moving forward. It's okay, Dave. Let's march. I'm all about it.
But has that ever really happened? Have we really seen Shamea move forward with anybody? Because even when Drew when they went to have a conversation, when they had gone to Dallas with Cynthia, and they were at the restaurant and they were going to have a conversation and squash whatever they had going on, Drew went to apologize, and she was like, but let's not have our moms, let's not have your mom get in it. And Shamea just shut down, and she was like, you're not going to be able to say anything about my mom and think I'm not going to respond. like that's not what it was. Like she was saying, like if we're gonna talk about something and squash our issues, let's do that. But let's not bring our mothers into it and have our mothers, windmilling for us, because that's really what it was. So I think that I think that Shamea is unaware, and I think that she's unaware and not necessarily being honest about how bothered she is by Phaedra and Portia's friendship. Because keep in mind, they started last season, there was no Phaedra, right? So it was supposed to, and there was no, when Porsha signed that contract too, she was also married to Simon. So it was going to be Porsha and Simon and Shamea and Gerald, and they were going to be on there doing the damn thing. And then Porsha gets the divorce, all that shit happens. She can't film in the house, and the shit blows up. She already got the contract signed. She got to go through with it, right? But y'all not really giving nothing. So they bring Phaedra back in to lighten the mood, and because they know that Phaedra and Porsha cut up with each other. And since Shamea and Porsha are beefing, we're not really getting that fun side of their relationship. So the show is kind of dark and it's kind of boring. So they brought Phaedra back in to give Porsha somebody to cut up with. And so now that they are doing that, Shamea is very much so bothered by it, like she has always been bothered by it and always been bothered by the freaking frack of it all.
Your reaction to Phaedra saying she feels like you're the one in the whole group stirring all the pots.
Well, of course she's going to say that. I mean, she's what, frack?
Okay.
And then after Shamea said, Shamea give you that look like she just ate when she said, like, of course she's going to say that. Would she frack? Like, you did not eat with that. Like, you did not. Yo, like she did not eat with that, and she thinks she did. This shit is funny to me. Like it's funny to me. But Phaedra let it be known too. Phaedra's another one that's a professional. Phaedra can give you professional cold shoulder as well. You know what I'm saying? Like she can go on and laugh and talk and joke and all of that stuff and really not trust you at all. And Phaedra is another one too that is also very vindictive. And Phaedra will get her lick back.
I am totally fine with Shamea, but I definitely got both eyes open when it comes to what I say around her, because I see that she'll turn it around to cause confusion within the group. And Cap, Phaedra, stop. You want to create something so bad with me, girl. I ain't got no drama with you.
Like, you really don't have any drama with Phaedra. Like Phaedra, or the drama with Phaedra, to be honest with you guys, the drama between Shamea and Phaedra started all the way back in season 8. Okay. So season 9, is it season 8? Season 9, right? It started back in season 9. The whole Porsha, Phaedra, candy of it all, the whole dungeon of it all. Phaedra said that in response to Shamea saying that Phaedra was always flirting with her ex-husband. Yeah. Shamea was the one to throw the first dagger there. And then she said that Phaedra was always like, hook me up with a rich African, hook me up with a rich African. Like, and so that's when Phaedra said that Shamea had the African connection. So, and everybody all of a sudden was getting rich Africans, So maybe it's true. Maybe Shamea does have the African connection, and that's why Porsha was sticking around all that time, and Shamea was sticking around because she wanted to be on TV. That's really what it is. So, Phaedra is like, and again, Phaedra being the godfather that she is, she knows to keep her enemies close, but Shamea is so fake, she can't even be honest about the fact that she don't like Phaedra. You started the mess with Phaedra season 9, saying that she was flirting with your ex-husband. And then when Phaedra heard that, she hit back with where everybody say that Shamea go with everybody's husband. And she's growing Todd and Candy. That's when Phaedra hit back with that. And Shamea to this day can't be honest about the fact that she don't like her.
You already know her children are amazing. Phenomenal. You've done a wonderful job as a mother. I don't dislike you. Thank you.
Phaedra just said, thank you. Because Shamea, I don't dislike you. Do you believe me? Do you believe me? Would you believe me if I said it like that? I don't dislike you. Like, would you believe me? Like, come on. Come on. But she get that fake shit from her mama though. She get that fake shit from her mama.
Well, first of all, Portia's mom, Diane, she's my friend. She'll always be my friend. She's a sweetheart too. And Kara, Kelly's mother, I love her. She reminds me of my sister, my oldest sister's daughter, Joyce. She's such a sweetheart. She just, you know how when you can meet somebody and the spirits just agree. That's the way it was with Kara.
Nah, she's sweet.
She's a sweetheart. I really like her. And I think we'll be good friends. I really do. I think we'll be great friends. We think a lot alike. Daycare. She likes daycare. She likes cooking. We just have so much in common. So shout out to Kara. Really like the girl. And her daughter Kelly is just as sweet as she can be. Now going back to what we were saying about the housewives, I kind of like all the girls. All the girls seem to be very good, but I guess time will tell, because one thing about the truth, it always comes out. Loyalty will always make itself known. We'll just have to see how it develops, because I keep y'all before the Lord. I do that.
Were there ever times where you forgot that your mic?
She keep them before the Lord, honey. And the truth will always come out. So according to Porsha, Shamea been throwing some pastor in Duluth, okay? Or Decatur. She said Decatur, Duluth. One of those. Y'all know what she said over there on Twitter, on the X. Anyways, Shamea went on Watch What Happens Live and totally twisted Portia's words around, or again changed the words to fit her narrative. And it's like, Mama, do you catch this, Mom? Are you going to call her out on this shit, Mom? And what is the real truth?
I'm assuming you saw Portia's tweet and you're
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I saw it. And I felt bad for one of my pastors, because not y'all trying to get me kicked out the church.
Okay.
I need all the prayers I can get right now. Can I hold on to that? So I apologize.
She called her pastor. Porsha didn't say she was sleeping with her pastor. She said she was sleeping with a pastor. And that pastor was definitely on her roster along with many more. That is what she said. So for Shamea to say that she called her pastor, your pastor don't have nothing to do with this. Or does he? You know what I'm saying? Make it make sense now, you know? And that's what I'm saying. I don't think Mama Morton is aware of who her daughter is. And that's a part of the problem. And that's why I blame the mama. Because if your mama can't hold you accountable and your mama can't tell you the truth about who you are, who the hell can? Who can? Because anybody else, you cut them out your life. But if you have any kind of morals and upbringing and respect for your mother, you're not going to cut your mother out of your life for telling you the truth about yourself. You might not like it, you know, but you would respect it because it's your mother. And you believe that what she says is true. So when your mother doesn't tell you the truth and she gas you up and gaslights you herself by making you think that you're always right when you're really not, it's not helpful.
Mom, how did you feel filming Housewives of Atlanta this season?
It was okay. It really was okay. Until the time that I felt that you guys was having division. I don't like division. And I really, when you look at friendships, long-term friendships and loyalty, I just didn't like the idea of you guys having a lot of differences, but I kept it before the Lord. I continued to pray about it. And I know eventually everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And I hope for her sake that it is, because I know that as a mother, you do want your kids to be happy ultimately, right? You want them to be happy and healthy, and you want them to be in love and loved and all those things. But at the same time, you have to be honest about who your children are and their strengths and their weaknesses, right? And saying that somebody is your friend and is so sweet and is going to always be your friend when you know damn well that you think that this woman tried to sleep with your husband back in the day, that's not modeling good behavior. Okay. Like the God does want us to love each other and to love our enemies. That don't mean we have to lie and say that they so sweet and they gonna always be your friend, because your friend wouldn't try to go with your husband. So if you really believe that, then why would you even say that this woman is so sweet and your friend? And because you do things like that, you let Shamea know, or you let Shamea believe, you lead Shamea to believe that it's okay for her to be fake and to be phony and to not express how she truly feels. And then when she does, it comes out the way that it came out, right? And to make her believe that she's never wrong in these situations, that people are picking on her, and to amen that when that is just simply not 100% the truth, is not helpful either, because it keeps her from taking accountability and from admitting her shortcomings and allowing her to grow from them, right? Because if you think that you're right all the time, you have no reason to change. You have no reason to move differently. So you have to also examine yourself and examine what it is that you've done wrong, that you could do differently in order to make changes so that your future does not repeat the things of the past, right? So, if that makes sense to y'all, let me know. Let me know in the comments if that makes sense to you guys, because in the meantime, you got Mama Morton around here threatening to whip the girl's butt.
Hey, well, you know what? If I catch any of you girls being mean this time, I'm coming with my paddle. Listen, we not gonna make you mad. We're gonna make you proud. Make me proud. Yes.
And I hope that they do. I mean, I know she can't be proud right now because they definitely been mean. They definitely have been mean to each other. They definitely have not been sisterly. And baby, they got your name all up in it, Mama Morton. And your daughter did that. Your daughter put your name all up in it on national television in something so scandalous. Your daughters did this, Miss Diane. Your daughter, you know, they did this shit. And I blame y'all for it because y'all won't tell they asses when they wrong. You should have been told Porsha that she do some wrong shit. We gonna make some smart decisions around here. Screw that man. The men come and go. Heifer, how you gonna put me in the house and then put me out? That's the real conversation. That's the real conversation. How you gonna give me this house? Well, I done got rid of my other one, so I don't know if I don't know if she owned it or was renting it or whatever. But needless to say, I have moved out of where I was at to move into your home there in Duluth. And now that you done moved in with Simon or got this house with Simon, you got to sell this house and put me out. Now I got to come over here. Miss Diane getting too old for that shit. Porsha can't be dragging her all over Atlanta. And from, man to man, like Pretty can't be the plan no more. Pretty can't be the plan anymore. And I don't know that Porsha has ever had the confidence to feel like she could do it on her own. And that's a part of the issue. She's confident in her, you know what? People always lead with the thing that they are most confident in. Okay. Like when you meet somebody, and whether they are, especially like, if in a dating situation or something, like when you meet somebody, like they always lead with the thing that they are most confident in. Right. So if it's a man's money, he leads with his money. If it is somebody who might not have no money, but they know they can put it down, they lead with their sex appeal. If it is somebody who might not have much money and might not have much sex appeal but are super intelligent, they want you to know how smart they are. They lead with their intelligence. And it's the same thing for women, the exact same thing in those same categories as well. So in Porsha's case, Porsha leads with her sex appeal. And she leads with she leads with this act, this bimbo act, right? She leads with this submissive wife act. She leads with those things because she thinks that those are the best parts of her. And she believes that because those are the things that her mother has taught her are the best parts of her. Those are the things that have supported her lifestyle, right? And so even right now, if we look at like their Twitter and their social media, whatever, like Shamea right now is leading with this nuclear family. She's leading with, I love my husband. My husband loves me so much. My parents this, my supportive this, my blessed this, She's leading with those things because that is the thing that she feels most confident in. That is the thing that sets her apart. And that's why she leads with that. And she's also doing that to intentionally try to jab at Porsha because she knows that that's the things that, again, like I said, money can't buy that, right? So money cannot buy the nuclear family that Shamea has and Porsha desires. Just like money can't necessarily buy the Porsha's charm. While Shamea is an entertainer and Porsha is an entertainer, Shamea has to try at it. She's very talented, right? She's very athletic. She can sing, she can dance, she can cheer. Lean into that. Lean into that, right? So when God gives us gifts like that, it's not for us to necessarily use how we see fit. It's for us to use to bring people closer to him. And like right now, if Shamea was just happy and confident in who she is and the blessings that she has, she would lean into that. Because there's this big craze of Black girls cheerleading, right? And Black girls have always cheered, okay? I was a cheerleader. Black girls have always cheered. If Shamea was smart, Shamea would lean into that because Shamea has that cheer background, that dance background. She loves it. She loves it. And she's talking about she's passionate about some rum. You're not passionate about no damn rum, Shamea. About no damn rum bum or whatever you called it. You're passionate about that cheer and that dance, and those are the barriers that you broke as a Black woman. Okay. She said that it was oftentimes that she was the only Black girl or one of a few Black girls on these professional squads. That's your story. That's your story. Right now, especially in inner cities and things, we need things for young people to get into. We need positive ways to keep young people off the streets. And there's so many programs, not so many, but there are definitely more programs geared towards the boys than there are towards the girls. And cheer is one of those things that takes athleticism, it takes discipline, it takes dedication, it takes lots of practice, it takes lots of teamwork, it takes communication, it takes strength, it takes agility, it takes so many things that but the athleticism alone is something that is amazing when you see Black girls cheer. You can take a Black girl who has never had who is a first year competition cheerleader, okay? That can make a squad if given a chance, if given a few days, a few weeks of practice, can make a squad because of pure athleticism. The jumps, the kicks, the strength. It is unbelievable. And it's trending. Like Black girls are becoming more involved in cheer as a sport, right? And Shamea should totally lean into that. She should totally lean into the dance schools and the dance classes and the nonprofit of it all. She's a socialite, you know? Shamea is a freaking, she said she was a socialite. She said that her mother, she grew up, her connections came from her mother throwing fundraisers and things for local politicians and hosting dinners and parties and going to balls and things like that, right? And her mother had the first group home licensed group home in Atlanta or something. They said something about 18 kids in the basement though, or 18 kids downstairs. I was like, whoa. Yeah, I'm gonna look a little bit more into that too. But I think that if Shamea just leaned into what she was truly passionate about, the cheer of it all, the dance of it all, the children of it all, she could take her kids with her to all of that, right? Like that's how you blend your motherhood and your job together and you make it work, right? Not going off trying to make freaking molds of your behind your backside and sell rum in the club, selling shots at shot o'clock, coming off your ass. That's not what you do, Miss Virtuous Woman. That's not what you do. Who she is enough. Who she is enough. And that needs to be her mother's prayer. Stop praying for pray for the other people too, but pray that they discover who they are is enough. And if everybody could just be who they are and see that that is enough, they would stop trying to compete with one another, right? And stay in their own lane and do their own thing and let God use them in the way that God has chosen to use them. Your destiny can't be my destiny because what's for me is for me, right? And what's for you is for you. We can't have the same destiny. We can't make it during the same exact things on the same exact platforms, you know? Laughing at the same exact jokes, being mad at the same exact people, you know, running in the same exact circles, dating the same exact men, humping the same exact girls. That's not going to work. Like you got to lean into who you are. And that's for Shamea and Porsha, you know? And who Porsha is, she don't know. She's still in the pursuit of Porsha. I ain't got that one figured out yet, you know? And Porsha wouldn't know because Porsha her whole life has bet on pretty, you know? So if you want to lean into that, if you want to lean into, I don't know. I really don't know. I feel bad for Porsha. I feel bad for Porsha. Because what is Porsha? Porsha is entertaining. She's naturally entertaining. She's naturally funny. Okay? She's a pretty lady. But who is Porsha really? Who does Porsha believe she really is? Because the things that she said she had outgrown in the book, The Pursuit of Porsha, she turned around and repeated in this relationship with Simon. Like giving up jobs, you know? Now you're selling your house to keep a home that's not even in your name. You're just making bad decisions based on optics and how you want things to look or how you don't want things to look. And your mother is not telling you any better because she's along for the damn ride. So I feel sorry for Porsha too, because who in her life is going to tell her any different that she's going to respect enough to listen to? That's a bad place to be in when you so grown and you know so much that you don't have anybody in your life that can tell you anything about yourself. And you stop and say, well, damn, if she said it, that shit gotta be true. Because I know she wouldn't tell me nothing wrong. You know? And like they said, when you have everybody on your payroll, you got Drew that's around you, but she's working for Go Naked. You got Cynthia, who's supposed to be the voice of reason, but she's working for Go Naked. You have and look, that's why Shamea was so bothered when Pinky told her she looked like Betty Bop or Betty Boop, because Pinky thinking, oh no, when Shamea like, oh no, not Pinky too. Not Pinky too. And then K.Michelle not beefing with her. Kelli done made up with her. Shamea just like, I just give up. I just freaking give up. I give up. You know? It's sad. Anyways, you guys, let me know what you guys think. Do y'all blame the mamas too? Do y'all see where I'm coming from with this? Like, it's their mama's fault. Like, it's their mama's fault. Like, that's why it's important. Just tell people the damn truth, you know? Like, don't be my friend. Don't be the friend that don't tell me when I'm wrong. Tell me when I'm wrong. And like buck me up when I'm right. You know what I'm saying? Like cheer me on when I'm right, but tell me when I'm wrong too. Because it's not healthy to have people around you that's always just telling you that you're right, you're right, you're right. Because you end up in situations like this that you cannot come back from. So this friendship is over, you know? And, you know, I blame the daughters, but I also blame their mamas. If y'all agree, let me know in the comments, you guys. I know it's been a very long video, almost 2 hours, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time here in this suite. Peace out, beautiful people.